Hi, welcome to Garden Guns. The question I'm asking today is this the best small rifle that money can buy? And for those of you that don't know what this is the Weihrauch HW30. Many people consider this to be a junior gun. I think of it more as a compact, high-end, plinker. I'm average, I'm sort of an average size. I'm 5'10" ish. I think I might have shrunk. I might even be smaller than that now. I used to be 5'11", but anyway, average build. Other than the fact that I've got a bit of an overly average beer belly, all bought and paid for, and I have no problem shooting this. It is, yes, it's definitely, it's definitely close in. That length of pull is tight, small for me, but it isn't uncomfortable, and I don't particularly have any problems shooting it as a average sized adult. For those of you that are sort of gifted with greater height and longer arms, you might find this a little bit compact, but for those of you that are of average stature or smaller, or for those of you looking for a really nice junior rifle, then this is the question we're trying to find out today. Is this the best one on the market? A little bit of history on this. This rifle currently belongs to Tracy, Phil's wife, who these guys used to run Leicestershire Air Guns. Their son's taken it over now. They still work there though. This is Tracy's rifle, but before that, this was originally my son's HW30. This is the first rifle I ever bought him, and we used to take him down to the club, and he would quite happily, merrily shoot bits of chalk out at 30-40 meters with this thing, with this little Hawk 3x7 by 32 scope, AO scope, and he would quite happily knock 30 to 40 meter chunks of chalk and spinners all day with this, and it was a great introduction. So, starting at the butt, finishing at the tip, the HW30S, well, it's got a standard Weihrauch rubber recoil pad that you see on quite a lot. This has got the older stock. As I said, this is about, oh god, this has got to be knocking on the door of 7 years old now, 2018. Yeah, it's got to be knocking on the door of, so this is coming up to 7 years old since I bought this. Record trigger, which is brilliant. That's almost worth the price in itself. The trigger is absolutely superb. Small cylinder, yes. 11mm scope rails. It would normally come, it does come in kit form where it's got a muzzle weight, and it's basically blanked off, and it comes with a scope. But the normal one has a standard Weihrauch front and rear sight for basically open sight shooting, and I reckon that's the one to go for, because it's shooting with open sights, teaching kids to shoot with open sights first. It's a lot easier than explaining scopes, and that's what I did with my boy. We started off shooting 10 to 15 yards in the back garden here, and he absolutely loved it. It's what got him into it. And then when we added the scope, that's when we started going down to the club and trying to shoot longer range. And it was really good. Taking him down to the club was a really good thing, because it sort of allowed him to meet other shooters and get encouragement from somebody that wasn't dad. I don't know how you the guys out there with kids kids with your own children. Pretty sure it might be different when you become a grandparent. Hopefully that's not going to happen for a good few years with me yet. But your own kids, if you're lucky, they sort of listen to you a little bit, but they soon lose interest. I'm pretty sure no matter how well you're trying to tell them something, I reckon inside their head it just turns into a blah 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 blah. And there I can see my son just tune out. Trying to teach him how to drive, and that's That's a really interesting one. But anyway, so something, taking your kids down to the club, even if you've got a decent garden that you can shoot in, finding a club to go and enjoy the social aspect of shooting, I really think made a lot of difference when my son was younger. As I say, he soon, well not soon, a year or two after we started shooting together, and he started to beat me in HFT fairly regularly. He lost interest and started playing games online with his mates and not wanting to go shooting anymore. But anyway, that's a different story for another day. Back to the, I've gone off on a hell of a tangent. Right, back to the gun. So normally it comes with a fore and rear sight. Tracy's taken those off. Standard sort of beach stock, very Weihrauch-esque. For those of you that knew the previous iteration of stock design, you'll recognise this. Overall, a great sort of fit and finish. Oh, and the standard Weihrauch cross bolt automatic safety, which once again is genius for when you're starting out teaching people, your kids, friends, how to shoot. And this is a great little rifle for that. Right, enough of me blathering on about stuff that's not related to this little rifle at all. Let's get on with the shooting bit. Let's shoot down range, and I will hopefully be able to knock some sort of group together. It is a little windy today, and yeah, I'll come to that in the shooting portion. Back with you in a minute. Right, so here we go. I'm using Barracuda 8s at the moment, which is, I've only just switched to those on this. I was using the Air Arms beforehand. But yeah, I thought I'd give Barracuda 8s a go, and they seem to be doing all right. I'm shooting 25 yards with this. This rifle itself, when I had it, it was doing between 6 and 7 foot-pounds. I think Phil might have detuned it, and it's sitting at 5 at the moment. But anyway, and slightly differently, I'm going for the bottom right-hand target. The idea being is, and I don't know why I haven't thought of this beforehand, but when I'm editing the videos, if I just have that little bit in, I can make it way bigger, rather than trying to shoot the middle target and having, basically loads of target that's not actually being used. But anyway, here we go, 10 shots, 25 yards. It is a bit windy, and the reason I've brought the target back from, I was shooting at 30 meters, but this put at 5 foot-pounds. This thing in this wind is really struggling. I've really noticed the shift in wind. So hopefully I'll be able to do it some justice, and the wind won't take the pellets too far off a decent group. Right, let's go. And last shot. Right, let's go and grab the target. Right, so how do we do? I'm happy with that target. It's not the best. I can do better. This rifle can do better. It's all underneath the thumbnail at 25 yards. Bar these two. That top shot, I don't know what happened there. The shot looked good through the scope, and that just seemed to climb. So light pellet or something like that. I don't think it was me. This shot here, yeah, that was me. That was through and through was user error. I doffed that shot. Anyway, what's interesting is the spread. And basically the spread vertically and horizontally, especially the horizontal spread, and that is down to the wind. Surprise, surprise, the wind is all over the place. I've got everything from a headwind to it veering off 30 to 40 degrees, and it's increasing and decreasing, and gusts, and it's probably anywhere between calm and then it's sort of reasonable. There is a steady breeze of about 2 to 4 miles an hour, but then the gusts are coming through and the wind is veering, and it's gusting up to sort of 10-12 miles an hour, and you can see that in the spread. When I tried to sort of Yeah, I did try to not shoot in the height of the gusts, but you can see it in the spread across the top, and you can also see the change in headwind and the vertical displacement as well. Yeah, this little rifle is only doing just under 5 foot-pounds. When I first got it, it was doing 6 to 7 foot-pounds. So I do wonder if Phil's detuned it a little bit. Having said that, the one thing is now it has a super smooth, super sweet firing cycle, and it's over 10 shots over the chronograph. I think I got a 7 to 8 feet per second spread. So for a little spring rifle, it is really consistent, and that's kind of what you want. You want the consistency, and you want that sort of really nice, sort of benign recoil cycle. So the smaller amongst us and the new to shooting air guns amongst us, you know, get to grips with something that is relatively easy to start off shooting, but as you work on your technique and improve, what you'll do is you'll be able to start pushing out further, and you'll see your groups coming together more and more and more. And you know, it does teach you slowly, it does teach you good technique if you want to get the maximum performance out of it. But straight out the box, you know, you can shoot it at, especially with the open sights, 10 to 15 yards, and knock tin cans and spinners down all day. And that's what this rifle is about for me, the HW30. It is a great starting place, and it's also a great fun place for a seasoned shooter as well. You can have great fun, you know, 10 to 30 meters with this. You know, especially with the open sights, it's a truly awesome bit of kit. And therein, I think, answers the question: is this the best rifle available in the UK at the moment? The best small rifle available in the UK at the moment? And I would say yes, absolutely. In its basic form, so open sights, it is currently retailing at $255, brand new, which is no small chunk of change, I admit. But I think for $255, you're getting an awesome bit of kit, a really nice rifle. If you can't afford the $255, try and pick one of these up in good condition second hand. If, you know, I'm going to say, if basically money is an issue and it's a barrier to getting into the sport, then by all means, go and buy one of the cheaper Springers. But if you can afford it, and let's face it, it's like everything in life, do you have the spare change in your pocket? If you can afford to push to this rifle as a starter platform, just for plinking, this is not a hunter. The power is not up there. You know, if you're gonna hunt, go and get yourself a 99. You know, or PCP. Get a budget entry level PCP. But if you just want to shoot tin cans, spinners, and put a huge smile on your face, you can't do better than the HW30. It is superb, and I love this rifle dearly. To the point, when I got this back home off Tracy to do this video, and I opened the bag and said to my son, "Do you recognise this rifle?" It was such a gratifying, this sort of realisation appeared on his face, and he was like, "Is that my old 30?" And I was like, "Yep." And he came out in the garden and he pretty much shot it for half an hour. Huge smile on his face. And when I said to him, "What, do you want me to see if I can buy it back off Phil and Tracy?" He was like, "No, Dad, it's all right. It was just good to spend a bit of time with an old friend." And I think that says it all. You know, my son, who was, you know, I have to get him kicking, I drag him kicking and scratch. That's not true. He doesn't, every now and then he'll come out into the garden and have a bit of plinking with me. But he actively grabbed hold of this rifle and came into the garden to shoot it. And I think that says it all. The fact that he did that just goes to show how much fun as a youngster he had shooting this. So, and with that, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you very much for watching. Keep an eye out for the next video. I am doing, as I said in my last video, I'm doing you know, a load of Weihrauchs, all Springers at the moment. So as a celebration for 125 years of Weihrauch. Even if you're not into Springers, I'd suggest watching it, because Springers are great, and you know, there might be something that's of interest to you in that. It is, yeah, if you haven't got a good Springer, highly recommend getting hold of one. And the 30 is a great little budget, compact place to start. I'm not going to be doing the video on the HW98 anymore because one of you guys, when I mentioned it in the last video, one of you guys heard about it and went and bought it from underneath me. I didn't even get it out of the box. So yeah, the 98 is now no longer going to have a video done on it. Having said that, to the lucky person that bought that rifle, let us know how you get on with it in the comments. You know, yeah, I hope you really enjoy it. I think you've got a, well, I never got to shoot it. That's how box fresh it was. It literally looks as though it's, yeah, I don't think it's ever been shot. Anyway, hello cat. Let's say hello. Come on, here we go, say hello to the people. So, thank you very much for watching. Keep an eye out for the next video. Hope it won't be too long. I think she's had enough. And we'll see you later. All the best.